All right, welcome back to your second lesson. This one's going to be on Nmap. So Nmap can do a lot of different things. If we do an Nmap tag H, we can see the help screen for it. We can do a man Nmap. Once that's finished, or once you read that, or however much you want to read, you can press Q to quit. And we can see the manual for it. That's how you look at that. But it can do a lot of different things. We can spoof IP addresses. We can go ahead and send out decoys. We can send out stealth scans, SYN scans, STP scans, UDP scans, a bunch of different stuff on Nmap. I highly suggest you read about it. This is going to be one of the very first things we do for active enumeration on a target, right? Active reconnaissance. So let's go ahead and let's see what we have on that target. TAC-P, we'll go ahead and do an Nmap TAC-P TAC, which is going to say that's all ports. We're going to look at every single port there, .19.0.2, right? We'll do a TAC-VV, that means very verbose. Go ahead and show me that information as it comes through, right? And then what we'll do from here is we can go ahead and do something like a TAC-T5 for I want to run this very quickly. All right, this is going to be super fast. TAC-T1 is extremely slow. We do a TAC-A for an aggressive scan. All right, I believe we need a pseudo in there for that. We do a TAC-O for an operating system scan. We can do a TAC-SC, which will run default scripts, which are your user share Nmap scripts. So if we go ahead and do an ls-tac-la, we can see there's a bunch of scripts in here. Okay, and we can try to break those down. So let's say we were looking for something like VNC. We can say grep TAC-IA. I always like to do an IA VNC. And we can see we have VNC brew info title, then a real VNC. Right, so if we found a VNC port on here, we could try something like that. Right, we can go ahead and we can do a TAC-PN for do not ping. And we can run a bunch of different things out here. We can save this output with a greater than sign. We can save it with TAC-ON, and then give it a file name. Or we can save it with a T, like T TAC-A, and then a file name like nmap.txt or something like that. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to run this. I already have one that is saved. So if I go ahead and I do a cat nmap.txt, this one was saved with, oh, that's actually going to be up here. We go ahead cat nmap.txt. We can actually see that we already have something in here. And now this one was run with a T, TAC-A. This, saving it like this. We can actually see we have stuff in here. So this is running over here. We'll go ahead and we'll continue on with this. We're going to go ahead and we're going to look at port 6667. So let's run Nmap TAC-P 6667, TAC-SC, that's going to be our default scripts, TAC-SV, let's see what version it is, right? And we want to run it on this IP address. TAC-PN, again, do not ping, and we'll do a very verbose, and we'll do a timing of 5 again. Now we see that port's actually filtered now. We had 6667, but now it's filtered. Why? We tried to attack it earlier. When we tried to attack that port earlier, we went ahead and we actually shut that port down. We had too many connections and actually shut the port down. We broke it. So that's one thing you have to be prepared. They have to look at, right? You can't just start throwing stuff at it and see what's going to happen with it, okay? Because we can see it's not open over here. If we were to reset this machine, it would be open. So on your PDF file, you should have that port open. You can go ahead and follow the steps and actually get into that port. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at port 445 out here. So let's go ahead and map TAC-P445, TAC-SC, TAC-SV. We'll throw in our IP address, TAC-T5, TAC-VV for very verbose. We're going to go ahead and save that to, let's say, 445T, TAC-A, 445.txt, right? Let's go ahead and we'll save it in there real quick. And while that's actually running, what we can do is we can go ahead and we can, oh, actually it already ran. So we can see that we're running, let's see here, it's obviously NetBIOS, right? We're running Samba, okay? What else can we see here? We got SMB OS Discovery, we got Samba 3.0.20, and it's on Debian machine. So we figured out a couple things. We figured out Samba port. We figured out, or what Samba version it is. We figured out that we're on Linux like right now, right? We could have figured that out with a ping, but we pretty much know that we're pretty certain that we're on Linux like right now. And it couldn't establish an SMB version 2 connection, so SMB version 2 may not be on. Message signing is also disabled, right? And authentication level is user. So we can go ahead and we can try to start to look at this port and see if we can do anything with it. Right? We can go ahead and we can start to see maybe we can run those different Nmaps, those different scripts on it. So let's try that like real quick. Let's go ahead and cat that, or not cat, excuse me, ls-tac-la user share Nmap scripts, right? We'll do star SMB star. See if we find anything in here. And we do see quite a few things in here, right? We got SMB enum, SMB brew, SMB ls, but a lot of these are going to be for Windows. That's what a lot of these different things are going to be for, right? We could just try maybe connect to it. We could try computer names victim, but we could go ahead, we could try maybe connect to it. We can go ahead and we could try to enumerate it with something like enum for Linux, right? We'll do attack on G just because that's the newer version of it. We can go ahead and throw that IP address in there. We can just try to look at the different information on here. We can actually see that we've actually found 5 shares, right? So we're actually seeing stuff, right? We found some usernames in here, it looks like. We found nobody, service, user, MSF admin. Yeah, we found all the usernames in here. So this is all the users on the machine. And this is just through SMB right here, right? That's just because we figured out that we have an SMB session. We figured out that the SMB session, we figured out that it's a Samba, right? We figured out the authentication level is user. The account used is guest. Right, that's a big one. We figured out that message signing is disabled. And this is all just through active reconnaissance, right? Just enumerating, like right now, just looking at the system and seeing can we find anything. Let's go ahead and actually let's do search exploit. And I don't know if this is vulnerable or not. I do not remember. And we'll type in Samba. So this version is 3.0.20. Do we have a? We do. We have a 3.0.20. And we have a command execution within Metasploit. And we can obviously that's Ruby. If it's a .rb file, that means Ruby, which means that's most likely run out of Metasploit. All right, so in our next lesson, what we're going to be doing is we're going to actually be exploiting that port 445. Now remember, if you're following along with the PDF, you're going to be going after that IRC port. But since we've already tried to mess with that, that was all offline, just kind of playing around with it and stuff. It's closed down now. So now we're going to look at this port 445. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll move on to our next lesson. And hopefully you all learned something. And I will talk to you all in a little bit.